Audio. Great, hi. I decided that this was a really good day to not start early. So I basically, so I was basically playing Final Fantasy XIV until like this very second. Gosh, should have worried about my hair too. Hi, Keldon. Hello. So this stream is going to be a mess, but hopefully I can pull it together. All right, I already realized that I should have given myself like 30 more minutes to set up my cameras because I actually have two now, and I thought this was going to be real cool. I could have the counter cam and then the stove cam and then not have to juggle between the two, but then I forgot that I would actually need to like set up my audio differently and the two cameras differently, and then I had to figure out how it would work technically. Anyway, it's been a disaster. So here I am 20 minutes later. Anyway, today I'm going to make Mole Loaf, which sounds delightful, but it's a type of lamb patty apparently. So it looks lovely. I'm just gonna like switch to hopefully the correct, there we go. All right, let me see where I have to stand to actually get this visible. So this looks lovely. It's essentially just some sort of like little like hamburger meat patty, although it's all lamb. And it's got some onions, got some garlic, and then it's got a sauce on it, and it's basically a tonkatsu sauce. And because I need a bunch of that, I'm actually going to make the tonkatsu sauce myself. So tonkatsu sauce is a Japanese ketchup-based sauce eaten appropriately with tonkatsu, which tonkatsu is delightful. Is one of the few things when I lived in Japan for a very short period of time, and during that period I lived off of unhealthy fried food like fried noodles and tonkatsu and stuff I cooked myself. So I ate a lot of tonkatsu. So we're gonna make our own sauce. And I didn't get any of the ingredients out because that's how we're flying today. So we're gonna take some ketchup, some Worcestershire sauce, which is buried deep in my fridge. All right, Worcestershire sauce, mirin, or mirin. Mirin is it's a Japanese sweet sake. All right. Dijon mustard? Did I see Dijon mustard? Dijon mustard, sugar, bonk. I got the book out to look. So is Mole Loaf meatloaf, but a hamburger size instead of bread loaf? Yes. So I think it's basically just like a tiny meatloaf. Although I've never made meatloaf just from lamb meat before, so I guess that's. I suspect in Final Fantasy, I didn't have time to check today, you probably kill an actual mole and eat it, and that's why it's Mole Loaf. And so the author was probably like, well, we can't just have it be a beef patty then. That there are cow equivalents in Eorzea. So we're going to have something that tastes different than normal meatloaf. So I guess that's where the lamb meat comes in. All right, and now I need garlic powder, which I should have gotten out before. Thankfully easy enough to get. So this is garlic powder. All right. So now we're going to make our own tonkatsu sauce from scratch. Super fancy. All right, so I don't even know. I'm pretty sure we just got this recipe off the internet somewhere. So I don't know where we got it from or how it came to be in our possession, but it's now on a note card. Where's my other ketchup? I think it's in here. I'm super organized. There we go. Alright, because this thing starts with a third cup of ketchup, and this might be, it might be enough, it might not be. I guess we'll find out. And tell me more about Japan. Why were you there? Work, education? Yeah. So right when I graduated university, I decided that I wanted to, I didn't really want to get a traditional job right off the bat, and I had heard about people who taught English in Japan. And given that I was not particularly settled at the time, I was like, you know what, that sounds awesome. What a great opportunity. Because it is hard to go abroad when if you have like pets and an apartment and a job. So first I applied for the for the JET program, which a lot of people do. Didn't get accepted into that one. But I did end up doing a job interview and getting hired by a company called Nova. And the Nova Eikaiwa were, I think they're out of business now. They were are they? Did they survive? I don't know what happened to Nova. Anyway, Nova was or is famous for its, basically they have little English lesson locations that are located outside of like train stations. And because Japan is covered in train stations, it's a really convenient place. So people who are going to school or from work can just drop in and get an English lesson for 30 minutes or an hour. And so I ended up working for Nova Eikaiwa for a couple of years. And I lived in, in Nishinomiya and Amagasaki, which are two suburbs of Osaka. And I just basically taught English for a couple of years. And later I left Nova and I taught English at a middle school. And yeah, it was an experience. I was very young, I say, feeling so much more experienced now in my ancient years. I was very young and I was very shy and I was very perfectionistic. So in a way, it was very difficult for me to be abroad because I didn't make friends very easily. And that made it very difficult for me to basically cope whenever I got lonely, because it is incredibly lonely to be overseas. But at the same time, I got to do a lot of really cool things that I wouldn't necessarily have gotten to do. Like, what did I do? I did a lot of things. I saw so many stuff. Because Osaka is within like a good train ride from Kyoto and Nara, which are two of the famous tourist locations because they have so many shrines there. I got to see so many cool places. Yeah, so I know. And I, studied studied Japanese. Got fairly decent at Japanese, and now I've forgotten most of it. Okay, not most of it. I could still hold a really basic conversation, but it is depressing to realize how much I've lost when I used to be so much better at it. Yeah, no problem. It was a cool time. But I made the grievous mistake of starting to date the man who then later became my husband. So I was like, wow, hey, Emerald, want to visit me in Japan? It's really cool. And at the time, we had known each other for a long time online. So we were long-term friends at that point, but had only met in person a few times. So this was a great time for me to be like, hey, I live in a super cool place. Want to come visit and see the amazing world that is Tokyo and all the tourist places around there? And we went to the Square Enix headquarters together and did a bunch of touristy stuff, did a bunch of nerdy stuff, bought lots of games, and then we were like, wow, you're awesome. So if you have plans to stay in a foreign country for a really long time, meeting someone awesome over, who lives in North America is probably not a very productive way to do it. So then I decided to come back. And it worked out. I was so anxious. I wanted to be perfect at Japanese like immediately. And I was not really good at accepting that one of the parts about learning a language is that you have to be comfortable with being bad at it. And not comfortable as in like, accept your mistakes, gracefully. You have to like embrace it. You have to be like, yes, I suck at it and it's hilarious and I said something stupid. Isn't that great? I am completely unfazed by my stupidity. I was not able to really do that very well. Anyway, here we go. This is our tonkatsu sauce. It is basically just ketchup, mirin, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, sugar, Dijon mustard, and garlic powder. So yeah, this should be enough for this entire recipe because all I need, this is about a 1/3 cup plus a bit, and that's about exactly what I need for this recipe. Is I'm going to use a 1/4 cup in the actual loaf, and then more of it, a 1/4 cup in the sauce for the loaf, and a little bit in the loaf itself. Asian languages are so difficult. It's not like starting with a Western one. No, it's true. The rules are all completely different. With like European languages, you can generally like guess, because there's so many words in common, you can start to guess relationships between them. Not so with Asian languages. You're just adrift. You're screwed. But it was the nice thing about Japanese, though, is that I was actually very good at reading it because tones, thankfully Japanese is not tonal, so that is not a problem. But they do use kanji, which I actually liked because the nice thing about reading in Japanese is that although you have to memorize 10,000 characters, you don't actually have to know how to pronounce them. Like you can just learn, oh yeah, this symbol means this verb, and then if you forget how to pronounce it, it doesn't matter. You can still read the sentence. You can still be like, yeah, great. I'm doing this verb to this noun, and I know what all those are. So I thought it was actually very convenient because it gave me other ways to remember what I was reading if I happened to forget how to say it. But I was terrible at speaking it. I can barely speak English coherently, so I was not destined to be really awesome at speaking Japanese. Let's see. Okay, so what I should do is I should start on the rest of this. All right. I am all over the place today, and I don't know how to set up my cameras. So this one, the camera is like coming in from the side here, so I'm coming in from the side of my camera. I think I don't know how to quite set it up, so I tried setting it up behind, and then everything looks upside down. But it would be weird to set the camera up behind me and then like have it be like over my shoulder. Not to mention I would bump into it a lot. So I don't know how to set up these cameras. I'm gonna have to brainstorm some more. Don't splash your keyboards. Yes, I know, right? They're like way back there. Thankfully, there's quite a bit of distance here, so as long as I don't do anything incredibly stupid, I should be all right. All right. Onion. I might as well get the rest of this out too. I need garlic. This is going to be onion, garlic, and I'll worry about the rest in a bit because it's like the lamb, salt, pepper, and I need to get these started first before I can do this. Might want to put a towel over them. Yeah, that would be wise. I think right now I'm probably okay. Just because there's a surprising amount of distance between them and me. But out of concern, I will move this tonkatsu sauce out of the way. Now there's nothing to spill. Okay. So now I just have to peel this thing. So the first step is apparently just to, let's see, what do I do with this? I dice it. 1 teaspoon of oil, and I have to dice up these onions and then cook them until browned 10 minutes. So this has got to go on the thing for a while. Okay. There's probably a better way to peel onions. There's probably a technique that's like sensible and reasonable. I never learned it. Also, this recipe has a lot of ketchup in it, and Emerald likes to tease me about the way that I pronounce the word ketchup, because apparently that's weird. Apparently I say catch up as you are like catching up with someone. And apparently, his theory is, I don't know if this is actually true, he believes that this is because my parents are Texan, and that it might be like the catch versus catch. So like, he thinks it's a remnant of my parents' Southern accent. But I have never lived, well, okay, that's not a lie. I did live in the South when I was a little tiny girl, but I have not for many, many years, like since I was 5 years old. So I would be really shocked if I had anything that came from a Texan or Southern accent in there. But I do say ketchup, and apparently it's weird. Is this diced enough? This is pretty diced. Should probably have a bigger knife for 1 whole onion. Let's dice you a bit, because you're gonna go, this is gonna be mixed in with the lamb meat. Anyway, I mostly grew up in, I don't know where I grew up. I grew up all over the place. Mostly grew up in Colorado, though, if anywhere. And I don't think I have an accent outside of the generic Western America, with some elements that I've got that I've adopted from the Northeast. But anyway, I'm gonna have to say ketchup a lot this time. That's nice and diced. There's a lot of onions though, but that's what they want. They want 1 onion diced. Google, both words are derived from Chinese ketchup. Pickled fish sauce and made its way to Malaysia or became ketchup in Indonesia. Ah. Wow, that's weird. There's a history there. How it goes from like a Chinese fish sauce to what America considers exclusively, basically, tomato sauce. Well, a tomato-based sauce. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna have to fix my audio. Let me fix this real quick. All right, so I'm gonna put in an audio input. Audio input 2. We're gonna put this one from. Maybe not. All right. We'll see if I can. So the issue is that right now this audio I'm getting. Where's my main? Dang it! More stuff I should have done before. Am I double? Oh shoot! There we go. I'm gonna do that. All right. Tell me if I am way too quiet when I'm over there at the stove, though. If I am not audible, then I can fix it. So, okay, am I visible over here? I'm gonna move one of my keyboards over here so I can still see what I'm doing. All right. You can hear? Awesome. Okay, so I am going to add a little bit of oil. And once this gets warmer, I'm going to cook those onions for 10 minutes. So that'll be a while. Let's see. Lamb, garlic, salt. Yeah, okay, so. Do I need that? Maybe I need that. Whatever. All right, so what I'm going to do while it heats up is I'm going to get out this other bowl because I'm going to have to combine all of those onions, once they're done and cooked, with a whole bunch of things, including garlic cloves, panko. Where's my panko? Panko. Also, thanks for always showing up, Keldon. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to know that somebody's actually excited to see it. I am disappointed, though, that I didn't get to do the croquettes this week. So I was all ready to do it. I had all the ingredients written down. And when I went to my local grocery store, they basically just didn't have anything I needed for it. Like, they didn't have the right type of, you need crab meat and you need soft tofu. And they did not have the soft tofu. And I could have gone to other places, but it was late and it was already I really should have planned more time for it. So I was just like, whatever. We're gonna do we're gonna do an easier recipe then. But now I'm all disappointed because I wanted to make croquettes. What is unfortunate, though, is that, oh, you're welcome, anything's fine. You'll make it through them. Yeah, I know, right? I've only got an entire cookbook. I've got a lot, there's a lot I can do. Yeah, lost one. All right. Come on. Off you go. There. Anyway, the croquette recipe, I'm looking forward to it, but on the other hand, it's going to be super expensive. All right. I'm actually going to scooch this to the back burner. Which is weaker. So if I put it on the front burner, it's going to just completely obliterate those onions. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, what I did not realize was how incredibly expensive crab meat is. So the croquettes recipe takes 1 pound of crab meat, which is fine, that's what I expected. And I was like, oh, it'll be slightly more expensive than normal. No, there was one thing in there that were one of the tubs of crab meat at a grocery store was 1 pound of crab meat, $70. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit much. Yeah, $25 to $30 a tub, and you need a full pound for the recipe. So, which of course I could make fewer croquettes. I could do half a pound. And I might choose to do half a pound. Apparently you can get less good meat, Looked like claw meat. A bucket of claw meat was still like $20 for half a pound. So $40 for a whole pound is slightly better. In any case, it's pricey. And that's a lot to do for it's a lot to do for no reason at all. I suppose every day is a celebration if you mean it to be. And I could just be like, great, we're gonna have expensive croquettes day. But it feels like something that I would prefer to save for like a special occasion, knowing that I could share it with somebody else. I can't eat shellfish anymore because I'm allergic. Really? A substitution for shellfish. Wow, I have no idea. Well, that's a pain. So you just became allergic later in life and you were totally fine with it before? That seems cruel. It's like just enough time for you to like be like, wow, I really enjoy shellfish, and then suddenly you're like, oh wait, I can't eat it anymore. So I'm just smushing these garlic over here, so I'm getting them ready. Crab cakes are great. Oh wow, that is so sad. I don't know what is imitation crab meat. Is that an alternative that you can eat? Because I don't know what is an imitation crab meat. I am honestly not the biggest crab fan. Like I'll eat it, it's fine, but like I don't seek it out very often. I don't know what the recipe is for in this book. For crab cakes, I do salmon cakes. Salmon cakes sound delicious though. Yeah, for the recipe in this book, I don't know. Maybe? Here, I'm gonna switch it over to like this one for a moment while I'm dicing garlic. Maybe salmon would work? I don't know. So this one is a pretty traditional. I mean, the croquettes in here feel crab cake-esque. They are basically, it's like crab, mayo, some soft tofu, which I guess will give it some bulk. Panko, so basically breadcrumbs just to kind of thicken it a bit. So by that logic, if it's just seafood meat, then, if salmon worked for other crab cakes, then maybe they would work for this one too? I really don't know. I have not made enough crab to know. I was in the store and I was like, wow, Emerald, crab is expensive. Let's find imitation crab. And he was like, no, you can't do imitation crab. The texture is going to be different and it's not going to make your croquettes right. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'd have to do salmon. I don't know, that seems like that would be delicious too. All right, so I'm gonna dump all this. This is like four cloves of garlic. A teaspoon of salt. What do I do over here? Still got my teaspoon. Still got my teaspoon. One-third cup panko. Let's see, so it's going to be lamb, garlic, salt, pepper to taste, and panko to the onions. All right. That's still a shame, though. What am I doing? I dirtied my one-third cup before, so I am instead just going to weigh my 60 grams of panko like a weirdo. Because I have a scale and I can use it, why not? 60 grams. There we go. All right. And let's go check on this onion. Whoop. It's getting pretty soft. These are nice and glossy. I didn't set a timer, so I don't quite know how long I need to go. But I'm sure this is not a thing where you like have to time it, because this isn't baking. I just have to make sure they're soft enough to make sense if I put them inside some meat patties. Yeah, these are pretty soft. But am I looking for them to caramelize? That's a question. Let's go over here. Let's see. Until browned. Okay, so I actually do need to let them stay in there a little longer. All right, let's come back over here then. What am I going to... I need to put some pepper in here. Translucent. Yeah, apparently they want them to brown a little, which normally I assume is, I don't know, normally I just go until it's softened. All right, and I'm eventually going to need this 1 pound of ground lamb. And an egg. Soy sauce, fish sauce, and ketchup and tonkatsu sauce. All right, let's just get out all the rest of the stuff then. Let's see. I need soy sauce. So I'm gonna, this is just normal soy sauce. Fish sauce. And the tonkatsu sauce that we made. Too many sauces. All right, let's see. This is oyster flavored sauce. Green sauce. Boo. Is this it? I have to check this real quick. Let me double check what I got. Bad about not following exactly. I know, right? I'm trying to be a little bit more. There's a little bit of browning going on here. I'm trying to be more by the book because I'm doing it for a stream. And if I just half-assed it and did it, and didn't do it properly, then really if it didn't, how would I know if it turned out correctly as the book intended it to do? So I'm trying to follow the rules very closely. But I also need to find my fish sauce. So let's see if this is my fish sauce. Let's see. Okay, don't know if that is. Dang it, need Emerald to like go find the particular sauce for me. Let's see, I blender like a half cup of the oatmeal, not instant red oats, and add the breadcrumbs to meatloaf. Oh, that sounds really nice. So a half cup of oatmeal. Oh, so not instant cut oats, but just like slow cooked oats. You want to stick it, yeah. So basically, yeah, for the first time I'm going to do it properly, and then I'll take all the shortcuts afterwards. Once I'm like, yes, I know that, you know, this is how I'm going to like it. Oh, I'm an idiot. Here's my fish sauce. All right, great. I found it. I found everything. All right, now I just got to see if these onions are done. Because I am seeing some browning on the middle ones here, but not a lot. But some, which probably means that it's really close. But anyway, that sounds really lovely. Gosh, it's been a while since I've made meatloaf. I feel like what I did, that's just some rice, you can ignore it. I feel like I always used breadcrumbs, so what you do is you basically take just normal oats and just like blend them and put them in. That sounds really interesting. Does it add like extra body? Or extra crunchiness? Or not crunchiness, sorry, body I think is what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. I think this is looking pretty good actually. Yep, like the egg mix makes it all stick together. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I have like one recipe for meatloaf that I remember really enjoying, which had like a mix of meats. So you had some beef and some pork, mixed it all together. It was really tasty. Probably should make it sometime. It's been a while. So let's see, what am I going to do after this? So I think that needs to cool a little bit down. And then I need to add lamb, garlic, salt, pepper, panko to the onions in a small bowl. All right, that's what I need to do next. All right, so I wonder if this is too hot. There's nothing in here that's going to like react poorly. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it back over here. And I'm going to transfer these onions to this bowl. And I'm going to let them cool down a little bit because I have to mix this with my hands. And that will be a little problematic. All right, so here's our mix. So let's see. So last week I didn't stream because I had board game day, but I did actually. So I did a couple things. One is I ate the rest of the cornbread that I made last time, and it was actually pretty good. Like when I first ate it out of the oven, I thought it tasted a little strongly of. So I'm seeing if this has like a little pull tab or if I'm gonna have to get the scissors out. I thought it tasted really strongly of whole wheat flour, which was in it, and wow, what the heck is going on with the weather? Huh. Sorry, I just looked outside and it's like dark and it's really windy and it's snowing? Is it snowing? I guess it's snowing. What the heck? It was like peaceful as heck like an hour ago, and now suddenly it's like friggin' like it's really heavy wind too. It was just like anyway, I don't know where you are, Keldon, but it's possible the storm has finally hit us because I am in the Northeast. Anyway, that was weird. I was just minding my own business and suddenly wind. Maryland. Ah! And it's possible, yes, if the storm went northeast, because I'm in the Boston area. Or it's just possible we're getting hit with yet another storm. The moment I start to get comfortable, because it was like 60 degrees a couple days ago, it was lovely, it was beautiful, it was all ready for it to be that way forever, and then of course it's February, so it's winter still. It was wonderful while it lasted. Anyway, that was distracting. Anyway, what I was going to say is that the cornbread really turned out well. Like, I thought it tasted really strongly of whole wheat flour when I first made it, but once it kind of like dried out and I heated it up, like we toasted slices in the oven or the toaster oven, and it was really good. It crisped up a little bit, so it had like, you know, a little bit of like, I'm not going to say crispy, but it like toasted up very nicely. Come on, onion, integrate. I feel like there might be more onion than there is meat here, but come on, you'll all work in there. I think it's just that the meat was very cold, so this needs a working. But anyway, the cornbread turned out pretty well. I actually would consider making that cornbread recipe again, because it just had a really nice mouthfeel. I also made the exquisite beef stew, which I totally did not do on stream, and I will need to do again on stream, I suppose, if I want to keep myself honest. That turned out really well, too. Although now that I have made it, I can better choose what I'll do when I do stream it. All right, so this is still a little bit of onion I could get in here. This is the mixture, and I am going to have to, I don't know why I mixed it quite that much. I guess I was getting everything in there. I'm going to have to add egg. So I'm going to make a little well. Sometimes you just get her done. Yep. Streaming is a lot of work. And the problem with the beef stew is that it takes like 3 hours to do. So it's very hard to get the timing right. So what I just ended up doing personally was I was like, great, I'll just make beef stew. I did it in the middle of the workday. All right, so I need 1 egg and then 1 teaspoon of all of these sauces. All right. So I did it in the middle of the workday, which makes it a lot easier to do a 3-hour recipe, since I basically just came downstairs, diced up the meat, threw it in a pot, and then went upstairs. So if I do it in person on stream, I'm gonna have to I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do something. I might have to make a stream day of it. Start the recipe downstairs, put it on, and then like play a video game for 3 hours. I can do that. All right, so 1 teaspoon soy sauce. Actually, let's see. Do I want to do I'm trying to think how I can do this without messing up this teaspoon more than necessary. All right, so we're going to put 2 teaspoons of the tonkatsu sauce in here. All right. Ha! Now that one I did that first because I have to scoop it, but the rest I can just pour in. So 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. 1 teaspoon fish sauce. Okay. 1 tablespoon ketchup. I posted in cooking as your not announcements. Oh, hey. Thank you. Yeah, I probably need to figure out a better like promotion. Like, where do I promote? Who do I tell? What do I what do I say? Of course, but if I were really serious, I would also, you know, be more involved in the Twitch cooking community. But instead, I just have all my friends who either play video games or do music. So, oh well, it's fine. I'm just doing this for funsies anyway. It's mostly an excuse to show off my kitchen to my friends. Because I like making food. Let's see, this meat is going to be a little firm for, yeah, that's, I think the thing told you to use your hands, and I think I should just accept it and keep doing it. All right, we're gonna keep doing it, yeah! Yeah, that's disgusting. Post in cooking, then they can ban me for doing a promo. Oh no! Fan can ban you? Oh. Well, hopefully nobody will get banned on my behalf. Oh, this is really wet. Alright. I think it says it should be sticky and moist. If it's too difficult to handle, add additional panko. This, I think, would constitute slightly too difficult to handle. I'm going to work it a little bit more just in case the egg needs to integrate a bit more, but it's this is pretty wet. This is what I would consider a little too wet. And not absurdly so, but it is. You know, I wouldn't want to make a patty out of that. So I'm gonna wash my hands, add some more panko, and then I'm gonna turn on the stove. Oh, hey, I'm gonna need this pan, aren't I? One moment. We're gonna clean this real quick. Ahem. I'm gonna turn that on real quick, burn off some liquid, and then that'll be hot enough to cook our patties in once I get back to them. We have more breadcrumbs. Yeah, this is very liquid. Alright. Alright, so that's good to go. Now let's add some more breadcrumbs. Maybe that's a bit much. No, it's fine. It's probably fine. It's only a couple teaspoons or tablespoons. Fish sauce. So it smells really strong. The last time I did a recipe for this, the last time I used fish sauce in a Final Fantasy recipe, it was with the fried okeanos, which was basically fried pork chops. It needs a little more. And the fried okeanos also had fish sauce in it. And gave, like, at the end, like, I remember thinking that it would have tasted better without the fish sauce in it, because it makes it, understandably, a little fishy tasting. So I wonder if I will think that for this one too. Right, this is, I think, going to be enough. That's fine. We're now in comfortable patty making consistency. All right, what am I going to do with this? Heat up oil. How many patties? I'm going to do 5 patties. That is always an annoying number. Alright, 5 patties it is. I'm going to do like slightly more than half. Let's see. We're just going to like look for the biggest one and pinch it off here. There. Oh, these are going to be pretty big patties. Alright, should move the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing slightly. So I'm just going to make patties out of these. These are still a little soft, but I'm not gonna, I don't want to add too many breadcrumbs because that's pretty big. I don't want to add too many breadcrumbs because that's going to change the consistency and taste. And these hold together, these are fine. I just have to make sure they are roughly equivalent in size. Gosh, I'm like doing this, there we go. I'm like doing it underneath my head on the overlay so you can't see anything. Let's see, this one feels a little big. Yeah. Give some to this patty. So anyway, hopefully they're good and not too fishy. They are soft though, so I'm going to oil the heck out of that pan. Okay. Let us go back. I'm going to cap this panko. Let us go back to the stove. All right. Here we have our stove, which is hot. I'm going to turn this back on. And we are going to oil this thing. And while this is going, I'm going to refresh myself on the next few steps. All right, so once this oil heats up, carefully place patties in the pan. Cook until they've browned 3 to 4 minutes, then flip them over and cook them 3 more minutes. Add water to the pan and then cap it and then cook for a few more minutes until they're cooked through. All right. At which point I'm going to need this quarter cup because I'm going to have to make the sauce. All right. So I do need a lid. All right. Lid acquired. This is hot. All right. Let's see how this goes. If they stick, I'm going to be very sad. They're big though. I feel like I don't want to put all 5 in there at once. I feel like 4 is about the comfortable number. Yeah, I'm not getting 5 in there, am I? Anyway, let's do 3 minutes. That's annoying. Like doing them in 2 batches is just like slightly annoying. Because, I don't know, then like 1 is hot while the other 4 are cooling. Put the patties, put them in there, cook the sauce ingredients, and 2 tablespoons of water. Yeah, put the fifth in saran wrap and fridge for another day. You know, that's a smart idea. Because it's not like we're going to eat all of them tonight. And they're most delicious cooked. I am going to do that. Actually, I might get a plastic bag. And I'm just going to put this in the fridge. Thank you, that's a good idea. Because otherwise, because what you have to do is you have to make a sauce after you cook all of these. And so I was going to be like, do I have to like cook 2 batches for like 10 minutes each? Make this and then make the sauce afterwards? No, this way, this one can be made fresh another day. Excellent, thank you. But I do need something I can flip it with. What can I flip you with? I have like the absurdly large spatula. I don't think I need that right now. Where's my good one? I think it's in here. I think I washed it earlier today. So it's over here, huh? Okay. My good spatula. Alright. So these just need to go for like 29 more seconds. Maybe not. I'm going to flip these. They're starting to get burned over there. Alright. Seems a little dark to me. Feel like I might move this back here on this burner. Alright, so this will be 3 minutes. And then they want me to add water and then cap it until it's cooked through. Because these things are fat. Which is always a pain when you're like pan frying these things. So like I make something that's called like cracker cutlets. I'm not sure if my mom ever got that from somewhere or if she just invented it herself. But it's basically like a mixture of ground beef and pork and a little onion and a little seasoning. And then you make patties and then you basically cover them in, you do like an egg bath and then you adhere it to cracker crumbs and then you fry them in a pan. They're delicious. They're basically like deep fried beef patties, but with crackers instead of normal breading. And they're great, but they can be fat, so it can be hard to, if you do them wrong, like, you know, the outside's delicious and crispy, and then the very middle is still pink. These are big. I could see having that problem with them, which is probably why there's this extra step where you fill it with water and then, you know, basically let it cook a little bit more. Brown on stove and finish in oven. Yeah, no, that's like the guaranteed way to make sure that it's cooked through. This one I'm just going to hope that I can cook them through without burning the sides, but while the middle is still not raw, because I do not want to eat raw lamb. Let's see. Do I want to prepare the sauce? Do I want to not prepare the sauce and live dangerously? Combine the sauce ingredients in the pan. Sure, I'll just do that. I'm going to wash this tablespoon though. Okay, so at the end of the second, third minutes, Turn patties over, 3 more minutes, add 1/4 cup of panning cum. Okay, so I don't flip them. I don't flip them at this stage. I just add water and let them go longer. Alright. You guys, you brown on bottom? They're pretty brown on bottom, but they're not like dead or anything. And here I am, I'm like, yeah, the thing says I don't need to flip it, I say as I flip them off. I am flipping them anyway. All right. Adventures! I've never done that before. That's super weird. Cook until water has evaporated or the patties are cooked through. How would you know they're cooked through unless you knew? This means I need to look at the temperature of... What is the temperature of cooked lamb? Ground lamb. 160. Excellent. Because I have an instant read meat thermometer. It's a little dirty, so I didn't clean it earlier. Alright. Instant read meat thermometer. So this is a blessing. I once got really serious food poisoning. Ended up in the hospital. Would not recommend it, so I now have this beautiful instant read meat thermometer. And this is how I'm going to make sure this thing is actually 160 degrees all the way through the middle. Although I can still hear water bubbling in there, so we are definitely going to give it a few minutes. Good, yeah, no, it's super, it is a smart thing to temp your meat. Now that I temp everything, I find it really harrowing to, like, when I go to somebody's house, like we had a friend who was making Thanksgiving dinner for us, and he was like, I don't know when it's done. And we're like trying to look up the temperatures and whatnot, and he's like, temperatures? And it turned out this dude didn't even own a thermometer. And I was like, okay. And that's fine, you know, I mean, if that is how you live life. But if you're going to do Thanksgiving dinner, it's really hard to do Thanksgiving dinner with and know when to take out the turkey. Either you let it just dry out to death and you just destroy it. You know it's safe, but it's dry as heck. Or you get a meat thermometer, right? You can't, there's no other way to know it. So, anyway, I'm at the point of my cooking career where I don't know how anyone survives without a meat thermometer. I'm just putting some of this away. All right, oh no, I lost this towel. And this piece of onion. Is the water still there? Yep, water's still there. All right, that's good. So this is still going. And what's another interesting step for this is that after this is done, and I suppose I should get a plate out for them, you make the sauce in the pan, like we're just going to take the patties out, put the ingredients for the sauce in here, and then let it thicken up. And it shall be 1/4 cup ketchup, 1/4 cup tonkatsu sauce, sake, and water. So I have sake. I've not opened it yet. Fond in French adds to the sauce. Oh, absolutely. And I'll make gravy in the pan. So I'm familiar with using fondant that way. But for like a tomato-based sauce, I'm sure the concept is exactly the same. But I've never done it. And so it strikes me as kind of like quirky. I'm like, it's like doing a barbecue style sauce in a pan. Let's see. So I haven't even opened the sake. I got it a while ago. So I'm lucky because I'm going to use it in this. I'm happy I had it on hand, but I haven't even tasted it yet, so I don't know what it's like. So I'm not a huge fan of like hard liquors because they taste like rubbing alcohol to me, but no, that's nice and neutral. No, that's nice. I mean, it's just very mild. You have a faint carry of alcohol taste in the back. I don't know how good the sake is. I mostly got it because it has a really cute bottle. Alright, let's go see if the water is boiled off. Mostly. There's still some now. These guys aren't sticking to the bottom. Alright, cool. Alright. The book does not say how long it takes for the water to boil off. It says just to go until the water is boiled off. And it seems like this is going to take about as long as both of the flips. So it's like 3 minutes, and now maybe 3 more to get the water off. So we're going to let that go because otherwise we'll have a liquidy sauce. Okay. Get some stuff out of the way. I do need my ketchup though. Not my breadcrumbs. All right. I have like nothing else to do. I suppose I could look at this other recipe. So unfortunately, because this was a last minute recipe, I didn't really have a chance to make anything else. Even some simple things in here have some ingredients I don't normally have on hand. So for example, I was like, what could I eat with this? I'm like, I could make potatoes. But their mashed potatoes includes cottage cheese, which I don't normally have in the house. And in fact, I think their risotto does too. So I didn't have that on hand, and I went to the store yesterday, so I'm not going to do it again. And I'm just looking at this. I promised Emerald I would make something else with dinner today, and I'm being like super lazy, so I didn't. So I might have to do it after stream. Yeah, I'll just put this aside and I shall come to it after stream. All right. I'm starting to hear some sizzling now. We got I'm just making sure they're not sticking. The water is mostly gone. So let's temp this stuff. Let's see, is this 160? Ooh, that is 180. That's 178. All right, these are very done. They are extremely done. So her technique of wait until the water is boiled off has seemed to do a bit more than has seemed to cook it a little bit more than it should have, but that's fine. It's probably because she didn't say cook it until it's 160 degrees. She did the safe option for people who don't own it. Yeah, I might. So there's nothing in the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook that was a veggie that I had on hand, unfortunately. So I might just have to do like frozen peas or frozen, I don't think we have green beans, but we've got frozen broccoli and a bunch of other stuff. Which like almost feels like, you know, a little like, feels like a little lame because you're like, oh boy, I made like fancy pants dinner and then we'll eat some frozen veggies. But you know, sometimes that's how it works out. All right. I am lazy. Emerald is definitely the type of person to scrape the bottom of the first ketchup container before opening the next one, but I am on stream and I just need this quarter cup. So we're just opening the new one. All right. Does that have a spoon? That does have a spoon. All right, so 1/4 cup of ketchup. We are turning this down. That is sizzling too much. This is 1/4 cup of the tonkatsu sauce, which is more ketchup. All right, and then 1 tablespoon of, two tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of sake. Water first. Although there's oil in there, so hopefully it is all gone. All right, and the sake. All right. Then we'll save the rest of this for later. Okay, so I need to stir this all up until it thickens. And of course, her sauce is really clean and beautiful. Mine is going to be less clean and beautiful because, like, you know, I mean, some of the patties, like their onions in them came off, whatever. It's still going to be a tasty sauce. All right, yeah, but it's very liquidy to start, so that's why she says, let it thicken up. All right, how long does this go? Let's see, combine the sauce ingredients in the pan and cook until it thickens slightly, about 3 minutes. All right. Gonna let this thicken up. I'm going to turn the heat back up to medium. And I'm going to anxiously stir it, just like I would gravy, because I feel like this would be easy to burn. It's like a little liquidy, so yeah. All right, but our patties, maybe I'm not going to turn up the heat that high. Our patties look like this. Ta-da. So they're just, I mean, they look like meat patties. Like trying to figure out the camera. All right, they're pretty. And they're cooked through, so hopefully they're delicious. And now our thing is bubbling a bit, so I'm going to stir this more. Make sure I don't scorch this. And then I'm going to have to decide what to do next week. So I could do another breakfast stream. There's a lot of breakfast that can be done. The easy stuff, not easy, but the straightforward stuff is like I can make the lemon waffles. I could make there's a dodo omelet, which is basically omelet rice. So it's an omelet on top of a teaspoon of arrowroot thickens too. Yeah, like a lot of starch powders will thicken up stuff. Like we use a lot of cornstarch to thicken up sauces. When I do gravy, I have like a super fine flour. This one, I think they just want you to like boil out the water. So like we put a couple tablespoons of water in here, and I think we're just boiling it out to reconcentrate it. Yeah, so I'm just going to make sure it's not like too runny, basically. But anyway, so next week, I guess I could do breakfast. If I was really on the ball, there's a bunch of recipes you can make with the English muffins. So like you make the English muffins, then you make a bunch of recipes with the English muffin. So that's cool. But then I have to kind of like do these all like back to back. I'm like, here's my fresh, because you don't want to make English muffins like 1 week and then be like, here's my week-old English muffins. So I kind of have to do multiple streams back to back to make the most out of that. Let's see, there's all sorts of things. I could make the croquettes, I could do some of the desserts. There's all sorts of stuff I could still do. So I'm not running out of ideas yet. I just have to decide which weird time-consuming things I'm going to do in which order. Alright. This is looking thicker again. Like you can see, that was an onion piece. That's not very helpful. I mean, it's still a little runny. I'll give it a little bit more, but this seems of a sauce consistency to me. And there's not a lot of it, so it's not like I want to like boil this down like absurdly. In fact, this doesn't seem like very much for 4 patties. Considering they're big. Oh, and there's 5 patties. Yes, there's more. I'm going to have to make more sauce. But this will do for tonight. Where's Arcana? Where is he? I think he's playing VR. So he's rediscovered the wonders of our VR helmet. And I think he feels guilty that we own one and he hasn't played a lot of games on it. So he's been playing VR all day, making up for lost time. All right. So let's put some of this together. I'm going to take this loaf. I'm going to put this under the camera. Mm-hmm. This is not the best. I should probably get a spoon that doesn't have slots in it. What a concept. Something like a spoon? Spatulas and ladles, and I can't find one. You know what? It's fine. I'm just going to use a spoon. There. Alright. So I don't know, the color contrast is that great. It looks a little dark over here. Let's see, is it any better on this camera? A little better. So, I mean, it's not the most, it's not the most striking thing in the world in the first place. I'm going to remember to take a picture this time, though. so I can post on Haven Electric and all the other things. I am going to slightly, I'm going to do a slightly more tasteful picture than that though. Here we go. We're gonna get some of the background here with the, I'm gonna try to get mostly the countertop here, there. I'm so bad at pictures. I'm not a photographer. All right. Anyway, we're gonna get to the important part, which is how does this taste? I have no idea. This is gonna taste like a meatloaf, but lamb with tonkatsu sauce and fish sauce. So let's see. It's definitely cooked through. That's pretty good, actually. I like that. So, lamb can taste kind of dry if you're not careful, especially when you overcook it, like I kind of did. But this is pretty good. I think it's just because there's so much ketchup and tonkatsu sauce in it. It basically, what you taste is the ketchup sauce, or the ketchup sauce. You taste the tonkatsu and the ketchup, which really just gives it big meatloaf vibes. And the meat just tastes like meatloaf. So, except a little richer because it's a slightly unexpected flavor. So instead of like ground beef meatloaf, which can taste a little like plain, this has like an unexpected kind of weird note to it, and that's probably the lamb. So yeah, no, this is pretty decent. I would make this again. This is just fancy meatloaf, really. You know, with like fancier than normal tomato sauce. Since that's essentially what the tonkatsu sauce is. Yeah, that's pretty decent. It's not your mother's meatloaf. Tagline. Exactly. You know, so like, if you like meatloaf and you're looking for like a dressed up version of it a little bit, this is pretty fun. You know, you get nice little meat patties, and they've got lamb and, you know, all the other meatloaf ingredients, but it's like slightly more interesting meat and slightly more interesting tomato sauce topping. So yeah, so I think that's like that's okay. I'll just kind of go over here again. I mean, I feel like that's a success. That turned out pretty well. I like that more than the deep fried okianis that I had before, which tastes really fishy. This one, I feel like I can't really taste the fish at all, even though there's a bit of fish sauce in there. It just kind of blends into the other flavors. And the most striking flavor in there is ketchup, but I feel like that is pretty normal for meatloaf in the first place, because, like, I don't know, I've made a lot of meatloaf with ketchup toppings. So, yeah, I think that turned out well. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming today, Keldon. I appreciated having someone to talk to. And I'm glad it turned out well, so it was all tasty, which is always great because it's a disappointment when you spend like an hour and a half on something. It's brand new, you make it on stream, and you're like, it could be better. Awesome. Well, I think, thank you. So I have tried to raid in the past. Do I want to bother today? Emerald's not here, and he would tell me where to go. And then we have the whole back and forth where I'm like, I want to raid, but then I can't figure out how to make us go there faster. And, like, I don't know anyone. Let's see, is anyone I know on? Not really. All right. Let's just call it a day, and we'll sign off for now. And then I will get to work making vegetables for this dinner so that we can actually have something else to eat. Awesome. So thanks a bunch. Have an awesome evening. And have a great evening. I'll see you later. All right. So have a nice night. Thanks for coming. Have a fun Saturday.